What's going on YouTube? Seth Sanchez here, and today we're going to be talking about setting a price for your photography. And yes, I know it's been a long time since I've made a video. I always say this, I always talk about it, I'm sorry, but just laziness and just being busy in general. Honestly, a lot of the photography for me has been picking up recently, which is great. I've been trying to push for that, and it's finally kicking up. But back to the original point of the video, a lot of people come to me and ask me, how do I set my price on photography? And if you're new to the channel, welcome first off, but this is pointed towards sports photography, just so you know. But I mean, I guess you can apply this to any type of photography because it's just the way it works. So with any type of photography, I guess you can say is the first thing you need to do is obviously not set your price, obviously. You need to first set up your style. You need to figure out what is good and what is bad in terms of what you're producing. You know, obviously you don't want to just jump right into it. Like, you first get your first camera and just jump right into it thinking, oh, I'm going to charge this much, and I know I'm going to charge this much. And you may get some clients at first, but you just don't want to do it that way. You want to first get a camera and obviously learn the camera inside and out. Learn the different focal lengths that you have to work with. Just learn how to get the best images you can get out of your camera. It doesn't matter if you have a Rebel, doesn't matter if you have a D7000, doesn't matter if you have a 1DX or a D4S or D800 or whatever it is that you own. You can get good images out of it, and you can create your style with what you have. It doesn't matter what lenses you have either. It's going to be more difficult if you have the cheaper end gear, especially with sports. That's why I mentioned that this is for sports. But regardless of what you have, you need to first learn how to use what tools that you have. And obviously you want to build your way up, both in terms of your skill and the gear you have. So setting your price isn't as difficult as you may think. When I first was getting into it, I was very confused, like many of you may be. You're probably in that state of, I just don't know what to charge. I know I'm always confused on how to set a price for, every client's different. Everybody comes to me and asks for different type of coverage, and I understand that, and every client's going to be different. It's just the way it is. But even for me, I don't really have a set price on something. It just depends what my client is looking to get. And I actually have a story I want to share with you guys. Is thanks to my fiance, we were driving over to LAX because I had a flight to pick up to go to Utah to shoot something for one of the jobs I had. And I got an email on the way over there from a client who reached out to me and was asking me, my son is in golf and I'm looking for photo coverage. How much would you charge? And I told my fiance about it. I was like, I don't know what to charge. This is, it depends on a lot of things. And so, you gotta do basically what I did, was exchange emails back and forth, getting information from the client. What are they looking to get? How many images are they looking to get? How many days are they looking to have you cover? With golf, it's over multiple days. Do they want you there for the multiple days? And in this instance, she did. She wanted me to cover her son throughout the whole entire tournament, as far as he may go. So once I got all the information from them, what they wanted was, they wanted me to come out to San Diego. I'm from North Hollywood, so it's quite a drive. So I had to stay with a friend out there. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for a hotel, so I wouldn't have to charge for that expense. But what we got set up was, I went out there and covered Sunday through Thursday. Friday was only a depend if he made it that far in the tournament. He ended up not getting that far, but basically they wanted me from Sunday through Friday, except Monday. Monday was my day off because it was a practice day before the actual tournament. Sunday was a ceremony for it. So in a nutshell, a week of service, of my services, and I set a price. But before I sent her the price, I got all that information from her, and I talked to my fiance. I was like, I'm afraid to tell her how much I would charge for that kind of thing, because I know now what I'm worth, and I know what my price is for that type of thing. And I gave her the price because my fiance told me, you need to be confident. You need to sound confident. You need to be set on your price. You can't just go up to a client and say, especially in person, because in person it's way more difficult. I prefer emails because it gives you time to write out what you want. You're not put on the spot, but it's also good to be able to give a price in person as well, which is more difficult because you can't just sit there and be like, oh, I don't know, let's just say something like $200, but for whatever it is. Like, someone's like, hey, I want you to cover this football game of my son. How much would you charge? And you're like, something around like 180. Like, it just doesn't come off as being professional. It doesn't come off as you knowing what you're doing, and it makes them have less confidence in you. And so what I did was, thanks to my fiance, she just said, put the price out there that you feel that you are worth. Sound confident in the email. Don't say something that makes you sound unsure. So I did. I just gave her my X amount price, and this is what I charge for that type of coverage, and this is what you're going to get. I'll also provide that. When you give them a price, tell them this is what you're going to get. You're going to get high resolution digital photos. If you want to offer prints, you can do that. You can do a bundle package. If something happens where it's a high-end client and they're going to have you out for a week like that, or something big, and it's a high-end client, offer them some prints in the bundle, and it'll make them give more of a reason for them to say, yeah, we'll have you do it. We're gonna do it. Also, contract. So rewind it a little bit. I gave the lady the price that I had, and I sounded confident, and when I sent the email, I was like talking to my fiance, saying she's not going to do it. She's not going to say okay to that price. And as much as I knew that that's what I was worth, I always run into clients in the past who have just turned me down because of the price I gave. And it's nothing outrageous. It's very fair when you think about it, But sure enough, when I got dropped off the airport, I was, putting my bags in and getting everything set up, and I went to sit down at the, what do they call it, shuttle, and I was just waiting, and then I got an email back from her, and she said, yeah, we're going to do it. And it was the first time I ever had a client not turn me down for my price that I felt like I was worth. And it was a good lesson that my fiance taught me, was no matter how many people turn you down for your price, it doesn't matter, because those are clients that you don't want to be your clients. You don't want to work with those people who are not understanding the value of your work. You want to set your price and leave that price set, because that's what you're worth. And whoever turns it down, those just aren't the clients you're gonna work with, So, that also, you gotta be flexible too with your clients. You gotta make sure that if you charge a set price and they say, which is really common, they're gonna say, oh, that's not in our budget. What you can do is say, not a problem. What's your budget? Get their budget and see if you can work with it. If you say, okay, well, we have a wedding and we're gonna need you for 8 hours of coverage. In reality, it's more than just 8 hours, because that's 8 hours on location. You gotta edit, you gotta, get there early, leave late, expenses for your car, for traveling, food, if they don't provide a meal for you, which they should, all that kind of stuff. You have an assistant, just all the time and all the expenses that you have put into it. It's more than just 8 hours. So let's say you charge $1,800 for that, and they say that's way too much. Then you can, in return to that, say, well, what kind of budget do we have here? What are you working with? And then she says, well, we can afford $1,000, and you can say, okay, well, I can provide 4 hours of coverage or 5 hours. It just don't cover as many hours, or maybe just offer no assistant and just you. You just make it work with your client, because you're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna say that. They're gonna tell you, oh, we just don't have it in our budget. So I think that pretty much sums it up for the video, but I hope that this was something that helped you guys out and helped you learn something, because honestly, that lesson that that whole thing that I went through with the golf client was a lesson that I learned, because I've always known my price. Recently, I've known and learned what I'm worth, because I've been doing it for a couple years now, and obviously the longer you do it, the more you're going to end up charging, because your time becomes more valuable, because you have other priorities, like other jobs and stuff where you're going to get money from, But up until then, you're going to be more flexible, trying to figure out your price and molding your price into what makes it worth it for you, So hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, just as always, leave it in the comments below, and like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys next time.